Okay.
So,
Yeah,
Sasame Kikoto.
playing more.
What?
That's the one with the trap.
What? Only 51 chapters on it?
It was released monthly, so I'd argue it's technically the exact same length as OG Sama Nante Iranai.
Why is there two, though?
What do you mean two?
On the website I'm reading on,
What?
there's two. And both of
Two?
them are over 50 on the episodes. Okay, so
Ah, and that
one
should.
of them, okay, so Ikeda Takashi, right?
Uh huh.
One of the authors for the copy is the Ikeda is on all capital, like all uppercase. The other one is just all lowercase.
Amazing.
Bruh. Nice. Sure. I'll go read it. Let's start. Chapter 1. Rusty sucks ass. Wow, so much shit I can't read.
The fuck was up with that?
I
A
I'm on
restart.
fucking I needed to go to fucking page 9 to finally get to the first page of the.
That's not how I remember the manga.
Why is it taboo to fall in love with another girl? It's not. Why? Who said it was taboo?
Well, this was released back in 2009 when such topics of same-sex relationships was still fairly new and taboo. So you could say
Shit.
this manga is a historical artifact, a very important one at that.
Why?
Hmm?
Why is it
Because
an artifact?
it promoted same-sex relationships. One of the first media,
Right.
cultural media, to promote the thing and normalize it. We don't think about LGBTQ as much nowadays. Apart from that one time of the year where everyone changes their logo to be rainbow colored because
And then
companies still don't.
just for marketing.
Yep.
And then the next day it's all back to. Yeah, like, the fucking Skittles, right?
Yeah.
Do you know what they did? Do you know what they did for the fucking rainbow shit? Because
The
Skittles are
color.
already rainbow.
Yeah. Tell me.
So for the LGBT thing, Skittles made all of their Skittles just no color, just white. Yeah, it's pretty good. What the hell? Okay, I'm on to chapter 2 now. Ah, man,
Chapters
I
one and
can
two are what's adapted for the first episode of the an
I can definitely
anime.
tell, Rusty, that this is this has some age to it.
Yep.
Like,
Trial of the
definitely.
Sword. After chapter 1 and 2, though, the anime did the adaptation one chapter per episode. This goes to show how content filled each
Bruh,
chapter of that was.
bruh,
Well,
Rexy, what the
what?
hell is wrong with this bitch? The short guy just called her cute, and then she's like, "I'm gonna KO you if we fight." What? That's not how strength works. Just
Uh,
because you're tough doesn't mean you're stronger, right?
Well, height does give you an advantage in a fight, typically.
Yeah, but still.
And the main character is very competent. She's a martial artist, although we don't know that yet.
Wow, you just fucking spoiled a lot of Rusty, why?
It gets revealed a few chapters later anyway.
You motherfucker.
And that line is just a foreshadowing.
So will she KO someone?
No. I don't
But
remember.
it's foreshadowing.
I don't remember. I mean, there is that one arc where she... I'll stop there. Wait, what?
I see. So the cover for the magazine is the guy that said she's cute.
Heh.
So is he gonna cross dress?
Who? That
guy.
guy? He's a minor character.
He's a minor character.
Wait, what's his name? Have you seen his name yet?
Yeah, but I kind of just glossed over it.
I see. A member of the student council, right?
Yeah. All I know is that he is short guy, the main character cute.
Okay, wow. How are you so good at predicting? He is indeed the cross-dresser.
Yeah.
So good job with the hard read.
Nice. What can I say, Rusty? I just have this feeling. Why does the short guy look more feminine than other girl characters?
He is voiced by a female as well in the anime.
Nice.
As if it couldn't be hinted enough already what his character was going to be. Like, seriously, that's all his character is. It's really lame.
Just being a trap, that's it.
Yep.
How tall is she,
fuck.
Rusty?
How tall is who? The main character?
Main character.
I don't know. It's not mentioned officially anywhere, but I'd imagine she's like maybe 6 feet or higher.
Holy shit. She massive. And you are short, Rusty.
I sure am. I'm probably even shorter than the love interest.
You're probably even shorter than the cross-dressing guy.
Yeah.
Alright then. Right. I hate the fucking title of those Chinese fucking hentai doujinshis. Like, can you take this seriously, Rusty? Like, come inside disobedient. I'll. Are these titles, man? This one is fuck with a giant dick from behind. while foe a serious swipes. What about this one, Rusty? Bathhouse cowgirl sex. Connecting with my naked childhood friend.
Okay, did they need to specify that their childhood friend and also naked?
What about this one, Rusty? Raw dog ignorant country girl popping cherry with cream pie.
I think I've actually seen that.
Why? Rusty, why are you horny? Why?
I didn't actually read it. I just thought while browsing as well.
Yeah, this one, Rusty. This company trip took away my body and I hate these Chinese doujinshis.
Amazing.
And you know what's the sad part?
Truly the doujinshi of all time.
The sad part actually is that these doujinshis, yeah, they have like fucking, I don't know, 20 chapters, more. And on
You
the
could
fucking
tell the
website,
creators were very passionate.
on the app that I'm fucking reading it, chapter 1 is the only thing that's open, and then the rest of the chapters are fucking locked.
Amazing.
Yeah, I don't know. Why? I don't know why people would pay for that when you can just fuck, I don't know, porn on Google for free, right?
True.
Like, people are so down bad that pay just to fucking do that shit.
Hi.
Like, how to get that shit. Hmm.
Leave me alone.
Leave me what?
I'm playing more Zelda.
So, who are you getting left alone by? Who? No?
I'm asking the enemy to kindly leave me alone.
Ah. The fucking. Whatchamacallit? Kill the churls.
Sure. Nah, it was a Lionel. What's the equivalent of a Lionel?
The. What is a Lionel again?
It's a centaur guy and they're really, really difficult.
I guess the equivalent is nothing. Because there's
Yeah.
no centaur guy.
There aren't any centaurs in Genshin yet. I don't know, what's like a really annoyingly difficult enemy to fight in
A
Genshin?
really annoying.
That's what the Lionels are.
I don't know, man. All the big enemies in Genshin, like your Ruin Raider, they aren't annoying. They just die quick.
Yeah,
The annoying ones are the fucking mages. You know?
yeah, definitely.
Yeah, the annoying ones are the ones that have shields and stupid ass stuff.
Yeah, those are the worst. And the worst part, the Lionels are only considered normal enemies, despite the fact that they're harder than even some of the bosses you can fight in the game in Zelda.
Amazing.
Oh! Oh my god! I got jump scared by a fucking falling rock. Zelda, what the fuck?
My sister has amnesia. What sex? What the fuck is that? That's a fucking title. That's.
Oh yeah, there's a shrine there. I should run away.
Korean 1. What the hell?
Why is there two of them?
Sorry for leaving scratch. Okay, so I'm reading this new different manga, and every time it's the end of the fucking chapter, they're like, "You better be reading this at this website, unless you're a masochist,"
Nice.
and stuff like that. And yeah, they use different fucking shit. And remember, my sister has amnesia. What sex, bro?
How much are you willing to bet that there's going to be a plot twist where the sister doesn't actually have amnesia? She just wanted to have sex and is actually
How
in
much are you
love.
willing to bet? How much are you willing to bet that?
What? Oh yeah, winning, son.
Ow, fuck. Why are we in a call still?
Indeed. Should we just disconnect?
Maybe.
I will be going to sleep soon.
Yeah, I know. That's goodbye.
See ya.
See ya 2. See ya 3. See ya 4. See ya 5. See ya 6. See ya 7.
See ya 8, see ya 9, see ya 10. Slime. Fuck, there will be a roadblock. I'll need to do something about it. No doubt. Face some enemies. Oh god. So powerful. What the heck is that weapon? Oh my god, Lionel. I'm leaving you behind, Komagawa Uta. Sorry. I'll meet you again. So they actually buffed all the Divine Beast powers except for Mifa, which they nerfed for this mod. That's pretty funny. I don't have a drill shaft. Didn't mean to pause. Arrows. Beetle.
Wow! Oh.
I'll take your entire stock. I never activated the other divine. Oh my god. No wonder I'm so severely lacking in defense. If I get the chance, I definitely should. We'll need more money though.
Wow! Yay!
I should close some stuff that might reduce my lag. There always been a chest there. Aha, battery. And of course I need the key for this. A key for a key. Another battery. Well, since I'm being given a spare. Oh, so graciously.
And whatnot around here, but there's also
Don't mind the falling rocks.
a target practice range would make sense. Most skeletons are archers, so we might as well have one of those in here. And I've decided that there are going to be mob hits on each of these, but the one with the skeleton is the one that he has to hit to reveal the secret, because hitting that anywhere opens up the door to this tower, which has a pretty rudimentary piston door setup inside of there. And in here we're going to have a couple of secrets. We're going to have a way up here, which is where he'll be able to get up onto this tower, up onto the deck of this pretty hastily thrown together ship. Actually, I've redesigned this as I had more time, honestly. But this is going to lead to a kind of winch where one of Pirate Joe's crew members is going to be held captive down there. He actually specified that he wanted that to happen as part of this experience that he rescued a villager in part of his crew. So we'll have a retextured villager in there that will be contained in some sort of cage that it can harmlessly drop into the water there. Hopefully, he's done.
Bad for your groin.
Creating the ledges of the map. Down here in the tower, I would like to create a little secret room using the oldest trick in the book. A couple of fence gates right here, open those up, add a painting on the side of it, which will probably have to box off the sides here to make sure it's one of the tall paintings. There we go, we'll keep it as that one. We may as well have that one there, and that's a scaffold in front of it, so it's nice and easy. Chests and a barrel, put a little bit in here, and this sort of gilded limestone might be fun as Luke will also throw in a couple of other bits and pieces that I've got on me. We might have a couple of other paintings in here as decors, but I like the idea that the pirates have been like art thieves at some point as well. Maybe they've stolen these from some particularly rich merchant ships or something like that. If you take a look at the frame around this painting, it actually matches that macro quite well. But anyway, most of these do need resetting manually. The idea is that it's going to be once in this not necessarily makes sense. So you'll see how that is. For example, I need to reset the stairs down here and build for a trading track. Well, we like around, but it's only redesigned once. So it makes sense to do a bit more set dressing around here and go back and get some other sections. It's really nice to sort out. Also here, we're going to keep something from the jungle environment, and it makes sense that there is a lot of greenery around. Not this kind of greenery though, and I think we're going to spend a little more time with the upper level game around here. But I don't mind taking out these creepers. I want to gun down myself, and I would like to leave a couple of explosives around here as part of the challenge. The other thing that I'm incredibly happy about that is easier to see from here is I've got a little banner up there in the skeleton's, I guess, brow ridge up there, and that's because I wanted to create a map to this place. The lodestone and the compass that I brought with me are actually going to lead to a treasure chest, which the skeleton pirates will have buried along with the map to this area, and then Player Joe should be able to find it. The cool thing about the map, I've got it down here somewhere, is that whenever you build something this large, you always hope and pray. You plan ahead in advance, I suppose, that it's in the center of a map when you want to map the thing. And if I take a look at this map, which is a brand new map, it's not been altered in terms of scale or anything, it has the skull there in its entirety, which I'm very happy about. And it also, take a look at that in the center there, has a skull emoji as the marker. Now it looks kind of weird because it creates a transparent background for it, but there is a certain set of Unicode emojis that you can have as text in Minecraft, and so I copy-pasted that one into an anvil, renamed that banner, and then hit the banner with the map. And from there, if it wasn't really obvious that this was a giant skull, the skull emoji kind of gives it away a little bit. I like that a lot. I think it's a neat little touch to add some flavour to this whole thing. So I'm going to reset a couple of the puzzles. I'm going to relight this fire down here. We're going to put the stairs back in place because these are all just regular ones. We're going to do a bit more decorative work, clarify what the objective is up here towards the top of the skull, and then I think we're going to have to do a bit of work moving some blocks in here, which might be the hardest part, but moving blocks are we maintain the mission statement system support. There's still a lot of work to do, so wish me luck, and I'll see you guys on the other side. So at this point, we are approaching completion of this project, and I'm really happy with it so far. I'm at the point where we're putting in the finishing touches, but we'll get a couple of other details in here. Get some right here. To get the now we have to a villager first, because Player Joe has told me that he wants a villager trapped in here somewhere. There's some of the details of this because I know exactly what I built and where I'm building it on the scale. But we're working side going to be like a message somewhere from the skeleton pirate leader, who I believe is called Skeletron, right? So we're going to have some kind of thing saying, oh, I can't believe Pirate Joe is still alive, and, you know, if you find him, return him to be alive, and then, you know, Joey can do whatever he wants with that in terms of his story in the future. But around here, we're going to have a few chests in some spots, and I'm kind of excited about those. I've got a bunch of loot that I brought here in this bundle, and if you find all of the different chests and storage things, a lot of them are going to have the more common stuff in there, like the iron ore.
I want more bananas.
And then some of it is going to have the valuable stuff like ancient debris and echo shard stuff that feels a little more unique. Maybe that full diamond block is going to be up there. Potentially higher up, maybe even stored with the tools, so that there's a little bit more loot in there than just one item. But I kind of like that. Only after I've got this whole thing complete am I going to open up a portal to Nether, and we're going to try and get a couple of skeletons in Soul Sand Valley, just so we guarantee that they're the ones spawning there. And I'm also going to try and get some skeletons in here if I can locate a nearby fortress, because obviously there are going to be some tougher enemies in here, and I feel like with the skeletons count as an upgraded form of skeleton against. This section here is the fun part. So this campfire, when we extinguish it, activates a piston mechanism hidden in the back wall that's going to push those 3 stairs out. And so there's a ladder here, which is pretty obviously not part of any of the decorations that we have here. That is intended so you can jump up onto it, and then there's a couple of tricky corner jumps at this one where you really have to have the right sort of momentum leaving the block, otherwise you fall like I just did. I'm honestly pretty bad at parkour, so testing these things is not exactly a demonstration of what the most able parkour player is going to be capable of. But then, this last section here, you shoot that target, it extends that piston there, and then this block becomes extended permanently. We could end up turning that into a sticky piston, so the jump has to be timed, and that can make it a little bit more difficult. I did end up going and grinding more slime between clips, so I might do that actually. I think that gives this jump a little bit of extra skill in it. From up here, you can't really see it. From down here, on this block there, you'll notice there's actually a target block inside of there. And if you shoot that through this half-block gap, which is actually kind of difficult to do and relies a little bit on the arrow's randomness, that exposes a chest down here, which is where we're going to be hiding some of the more valuable stuff. And I'm thinking that a few of the diamonds might be scattered in here, and along with one of these maybe the echo shard for a little bit of the deep slate diamond and cardboard.
No spear.
You have to have a little bit of jump here as well, and I think it would probably put some scaffolding in there. Gets a slightly different area, so you can scaffold the other kind of fun thing about this is surrounding area, because it's likely it's they're actually going to make this area anyway, get up here, it's like that this wall has fallen in, which means there are stairs that you can climb up, and there's a way around the side, chests and barrels will be snatched up there as well. So what's really left about is the centre, I say. I want to get rid of some of the creepers up here, so maybe we'll throw some glow lichen up amongst the moss there, but I want to have a bit more moss dangling from the ceiling, as though this area has been long abandoned. We can maybe turn some of the stone in the kind of stone as well. I love some stalagmites and stalagmites that are made up the floor and dangling from the ceiling. We also have to make sure parkour, so it doesn't overlap the story here, which buried
A
treasure.
single
But
core.
I added in a compass. And the compass is no ordinary compass. It's renamed, but it's also a lodestone compass, which is actually kind of difficult to see with the resource pack we have that limits the amount of enchantment below our items have, but hopefully that should be pretty obvious that it leads to a specific place, and I've named it Skeleton Compass just so Joey gets the general idea. That compass is going to be his key to getting the map that leads him to this place. Basically, it's going to take him out to a nether portal that, in my brain, the skeleton pirates are kind of using as a drop-off cache. So all of the nether portal loot is still going to be there, but that's just north of this location. So when he turns around and finding the map inside of there, he's going to be directed in towards the front of this thing, and he's going to risk running into it from the sides or the back or anything like that. If he gets a map to this location from there, it's going to lead him through the mouth of the river that leads directly into the front of the skull. And of course, there are a whole variety of ways in which that could go wrong, so I might be around just to steer him in the right direction if need be, but I think he'll be able to find his own zone. But even if none of this goes according to plan, at least I'll know what to do next time I put together one of these experiences for somebody else on the server. Okay, hopefully today is going to be the last day I need to work on this project, and I spent a little bit of time between clips getting a banner put together. I really like the way this one came out. It's pretty subtle from a distance, but up close you can see there's like a little bit of ragged pirate clothing here. There's a red bandana there as well. I kind of like that. I feel like it fits the film very well. So we're going to fly a couple of pirate flags around. Majority of this is more or less done. I didn't go absolutely ham on the details on this side, but I kind of like being able to see down through the base, and we're going to be facing this way because of this challenge. Anyway, unfortunately, as much as I take pains to keep them around, I'm probably going to have to kill the skeletons that are down here just so I can put some stuff in those chest books. Because otherwise, you're going to be firing arrows left and right across breaking stuff that's still out. So I think it's going to be slightly easier for me to just kill these skeletons now, and then probably try and get some more skeletons that are going to be around here anyway. Unfortunate though it is, I haven't been tangled or anything. They're only resistant because they're stuck in bugs. But it is in this chest boat here, which is probably
Rivali's
manned by a skeleton, that I'm putting a couple of things in.
Skill is now ready.
Shovel. Now, some of the other shovels are obviously going to be pretty cheap. They're going to be stone or gold or whatever, and I don't think Joey's going to be that interested in taking them. However, a diamond shovel is a little bit too good to pass up, even if it's half broken, and just hovering over this kind of gives the hit that he needs. Oh yeah, I'm here to put out those campfires. In a previous episode, we already set up the campfire and spawn to start a thunderstorm when it's extinguished, so he at least knows how to do that, and maybe he'll get the general idea. I'll put a little bit of gold and other stuff in here as well as loot that these pirates back from their escapades. Gonna do the same over here as well, maybe a couple of amethyst shards or something. Of colour, something different. And you know what, since the skeletons have dropped a few bones around here, I may as well put some bones in there. I'm not quite sure why they'd be bringing bones back when they're all skeletons, but I don't know, maybe they make more skeletons that way? I'm gonna watch what you say on this server. Occasionally it turns out to be lore. But in the other mode we have a couple of ores that I can put in here and some iron ores, because I will have some like a choke. Hopefully just loading these down with shovels is gonna give Pyro Joe the right picture. The barrels here can also be loaded with their gold game. We've got a couple of other bits and pieces in here that I can throw in and finish off this gold village. I don't want to bring to explode. Either way, aside from filling a few of these barrels with
Hey!
the only things I need to do are, one, get the cage over here that's going to have Pyro Joe in, two, get the cage over here that's going to have Pyro Joe's grooming villager in, and then finally populate this place with skeletons. Excellent. Ah, he's done curing. Perfect. I just got myself the zombie doctor enhancement, and we have one villager. It's just a zombie villager from our local stone shore that I brought over here in a boat. Managed to get a fair bit of damage to my armor doing that, but at least he's over here. And now I've got a little walkway that's just going to drop him into that cage up there. I'll need to lure him in there with a lecter, so I'm just going to go and run off and see if I can get some supplies to throw together a bookshelf. A long way back to spawn. Okay, we've got a lecter. We'll pop this down here. We'll see if this guy becomes a librarian. We might need to let him out of the boat. Oh, there's some barrels around. Get a fisherman. No. I think we might actually have to take him elsewhere and give him a lecter. Alright, let's roam all the way over here. He's lost his profession. Let's see if we can get him to accept this lectern, and then maybe we'll try and stack some of the traits. Amazing. We got a mending trading villager, and he also trades bookshelves, so I can lock that in. Perfect. Anyway, now he's got to that profession, we just need to get him back there and lure him into the cage where Joey can collect him later. Villager pathfinding is now not that great. Let's see if we can give him a bit of encouragement here. Oh, he's doing it. He's doing it. No, he's got the wrong way. Oh, he might be making his way up here. He has some unfortunate pathfinding tendencies, but maybe if I open this a little bit more, you'll notice where the lectern is. It looks like we're on to a winner. Now we can just give him a quick nudge, and he'll go in here just... Dang it. And now I can't believe I have to do this, but I need to rescue him from magma box. Honestly, buddy, you are far too much effort. Yeah, I think at this point I should at least be able to get him out, quote, and in to the cage. Thank goodness. And he does have a torch in there, so nothing's going to spawn in there with him, thankfully. Now let's make sure that nothing can drop the top. Let's get that. Because at this point I would honestly not be surprised if the zombie just went right into this. So now let's make sure that this is all locked up, and I believe I can connect to that. So I've returned with a couple of things. We've got great 10 here on this target coming in. Those two aren't going to do anything. And I have some essence of Joey's fire. Right now it's just things that fine. We should be able to go down here. Let's use this on our librarian friend now with any luck. Villager that Joey wants him to be. Look at that! That's so cool. I can't believe he's going to find this parrot dude in here, and he's going to have a vending trade already on there. Okay, we are just about done here. Apologies if you can hear my fan in the background. It got really warm in the UK again, and I've had the hardest time connecting to the server for the last little while. If you've been following the streams, probably know that this happened to me probably about a week ago when this video comes out. I don't even know. But anyway, I am getting to the point now where I've installed a VPN so I can connect to the server, just so I can put the finishing touches in here and get the new name tag skeleton into the skull base. And if I free cam through the floor, I'm going to be free camming them just on the camera, having no chance of keeping the skeleton in order once I get in here myself. There are a bunch of name tag skeletons. A couple here in the boats that do still have names. I decided to just give them all silly names, so they're all things like Old Marrow and Short Stack Daniels, and Mungo Rattlebones is going to be the last one, and there's a couple of still walking around inside of here, but honestly they tend to down a lot of the time, so this guy here is the only one who stayed up on this upper level. I'm going to try and get them all in place. I didn't want to just have them in boats or minecarts, I wanted them to be free walking around, so they're going to be attacking Joey basically as soon as he arrives, which is going to be pretty funny. We want one more either from the forest floor here or a cave further down where I've managed to unearth people's skeletons earlier on. So here's our last skeleton. I'm going to try and lure him out through the cave entrance over here, but it is a little bit difficult to get their attention, keep their line of sight, and then they're difficult to move around because the skeletons are right behind these small players, so this has been kind of difficult to reach the fact that they're shooting at me constantly while they do this, and occasionally they get stuck on vines. Once this guy's back down and scraping around, he should be able to follow me, and then we'll just dig a quick hole in the side of the skull over here, and hopefully he should be able to follow me into that. The only advantage of the fact that the other skeletons are now cleared out of the area is that this guy should end up getting shot by the other skeleton. I've lost a bunch of name tags already, trying to move 2 or 3 skeletons in at a time. It hasn't really worked out super well, but Mungo Rattlebones is in, and we can look again, making sure that no more skeletons are going to arrive. Now I'm going to get out of here, stand up here just so I can show you one last thing. You may have noticed it in the subtitles as I was running around trying to get that skeleton, and you'll notice that most of them are just stationary now because once we're far enough away from them, it kind of disables their AI. But in here, if Joey decides he's going to shoot the targets and ends up revealing that secret entrance over here, I moved a wither skeleton in. He should be in here somewhere. Yeah, he's kind of attached to the ladder right now, but Big Johnson, because he's a tall guy, is going to be in here guarding some of the other loot, and if Joey looks behind this place, you can see a couple of loot chests in there as well. So this place is all set to go. We have another crate kind of arm here, these sort of modular things. I figured they were probably loading stuff in via this cavity here at the nose. Maybe if they can have dropped stuff on there or something, I'm not sure, but maybe that's where they set up cannons. Anyway, I have one last chest here, and that's going to be where Joey's equipment is stored. I just need Joey to get that here to me, and that should be the last touch I need to make. And then this will be ready for Joey to come and visit. And I've already given him the map at this point, so he knows where this is, or he's going to be led to this one city. I'm so excited for this to happen. I cannot wait to see Joey's reaction.
I ran on accident. Oh, I still got him though.
Look at what it takes to make a dungeon like this. We're going to be doing more stuff like this throughout the series. to be present if you were down here at water level, but you can kind of, I don't know, you can kind of see the darkness of the cavern in that eye up there. And Joey uses shaders, so I'm pretty sure it's going to look fairly dark in there regardless. Now though, our skeleton guards are on patrol, and that's where I'm going to head off and probably wrap up this episode, because goodness knows it's been a hectic job getting this whole episode together. I need to take down my nether portal here so that there is no evidence of me having been here in the first place. We'll ignore the fact that I've stripped mine down some stone just to build the skull in the first place, and I think that's where I'll leave this today. So folks, it's absolutely covered in arrows. For this behind-the-scenes episode of Empires, I really hope you enjoyed this, and fingers crossed everything goes well for Joey's episode. Don't forget to give Joey some love as well, because he's working really hard on a lot of stuff for this series, and I think it's going to pay off in a big way further down the line. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to leave a like on this video if you enjoyed it. Subscribe if you want to see more, and I'll see you folks soon. Take care. Bye for now. I wasn't expecting your voice to come from the sky. That was kind of disorientating. Like, where is he? Where is he? Yes.
They're pigs. To tell you, that thing you just threw away at me and leave me somewhere really cool.
Yeah? Oh, well, that's good. Like, pirates need adventure fuel, right? So I think that's great. I'm glad they just
Yeah, I'm pretty rich right now, so thank you for that. Thank you. I wanted to offer you unlimited supply at my shop.
Really? Oh, incredible. Yeah, no, Prismarine is going to be so helpful. That's really generous of you. Thank you so much.
Yeah, so anytime you need anything, it's all access for whatever you need.
Incredible. Incredible. Well, I can't bring you all the way empty-handed. Are you interested in trading with some frog legs?
Yes, these I need to fill one.
Yeah, okay. I've actually moved all of my stock down into the catacombs here. I've been using it as my storage system, so give you a quick tour in case you don't need to carry anything or something. There's
Okay.
possibility.
What's her name, by the way?
She doesn't really have a name. She's just kind of like just a garden. Yeah, I'm still kind of learning about the history of this place, so I don't know for certain what everything is going on. But yeah.
I'm already lost.
Yeah, no, it's fine. Like I've got a system down here, but all you need to do, yeah, just open that book and turn the page. So this is where I keep the frog legs. I always like it when new people get to see that. So yeah, I have block swappers underneath all of the storage. So like the rest of the time, it can look like a tomb and everything's all kind of like glossy and overgrown. But then because this is my storage system, I need to know where everything is. So yeah, I just have like a little book. And as you can see, I'm still figuring out where everything goes. So it's not 100% finished, but I think like most of it.
I brought some Prismarine.
Oh, incredible! Thank you so much.
And I know you really like Emerald Force. I brought some of that.
Oh, yes.
Adventure.
Oh, very nice. Yeah, no, I can throw that into the fishing ground over the right bridge later. But yeah.
Rivali's Gale is now ready.
That's the yellow frog. So I have a plenty of machines for these right now. So help yourself. Alright, yeah, looking forward to seeing those like the sails of a ship.
Oh, I didn't even think of that. That's a great idea. This is for my clock tower, but a sail. That's even better.
Yeah, I mean,
I didn't come to you for advice more often. That's very I promise I will never fail.
Thank you, yeah. People were a little concerned when I made this entire thing out of gold. map adventure. I think
Yeah,
we're going to be good
yeah.
for a while. And if you look carefully, it's basically just gold. Like some of the gold people wear it, some of the stuff there, like it's just gold paint. So those probably aren't worth that much anyway. All gold. What it is definitely. Thank you for the rain. Enjoy the front lights and see what you do with it.
Alright, see you later. Farewell.
Yeah, bon voyage! Here we are, back on Empires, episode 11, and I believe, yep, I heard about this. Something has been left for me here in the entrance to the catacombs. A gift from Gobland, a mountain replacement kit. I'm excited to see what this entails. Let's quickly make sure there are no untoward surprises in here. Nope, didn't think so. Okay, you can never be entirely certain with the goblins. And, oh! Now this is cool looking, I like that, bit of emerald ore, bit of chocolate fountain of course, but hey, I'm not gonna complain. And looking at all of this is looking pretty tasty, I gotta say,
I wanted to get an attack up
obviously
first.
the mountain replacement, maybe that, and we've already buried the hatchet with Joel as far as that whole process is concerned, but I'm keeping the shrink wrap on the mountain in case for the time being. I'll quite happily offload all of this into the system, because it'll now get automatically sorted with the protocol here, and I'm pretty sure I have spaces for this stuff. And while it may not go to restoring the mountain, it's definitely going to come in handy for my next build, because as I mentioned in the last episode, we do have to do something about the fact that my nether portals are still over there, and if you take a look at this place from the air now, in fact, let's land on the wing of our statue here, and let's take a quick look around. Yeah, there's still a lot of empty space. I sort of want to start doing a little bit more planning of what's going to go out here, and maybe start planning in some roads, put in some infrastructure, and all of that kind of stuff. But first, I need to catch you up on a couple of things that have happened here on the Great Bridge, because at long last, some people have started claiming some of their towers, and I love the fact that we have a few more towers here now representing each of the empires. You've seen the sort of sanctuary, you've seen the mythical solid's contribution to the guild, but what I'm standing on right here, and something that is probably easier to see from the user side, is smallish pieces, I guess. Second bedroom, he's got like a little bed up there for, you know, big old Joel to hang out in, and a little garden down there below, and lots of gold surrounding this, and this is why I'm not worried about people stealing gold from the statue of the catacombs, because that's going to be there for a while. Opposite each other here, we have the amethyst here, which I presume is Lizzie. That's got to be from Animalia. That's the only amethyst trader I know of on the server anyway, so really cool that this sort of geodesic crystal has ended up here. Fantastic stuff. And of course, this must be the sheriff. Tumbletown is representing, and there isn't anything here in the barrels, so not quite. Oh, maybe there's a little bit of stuff, I don't know if that's just leftover building supplies or whatever, but it's not quite like Mythical Sausage Trading Post. Instead, we have a lovely little water tower here, and I wonder if that has anything to do with the water here at the Great Bridge, or if there's anything on the inside. It does just look like it's here for access in case anything needs to be put up here, but I would not be entirely surprised if at some point that ends up getting filled with TNT, either by Jimmy or by somebody else, I'm not sure. Anyway, moving on down, we have the last one that I believe has been claimed so far. This is from the good witch Shelby. This is Shovel, and she's put together a lovely little shrine where there's a frog. We can throw it some food in there, and you get good luck. That's very cool. I'm going to chuck in a couple of golden carrots, maybe a couple of other bits and pieces to see what the frog's favourite food is, but I love the custom tree. I love how colourful and vibrant this whole thing is. The flowers, the candles, all of it going very, very well together, so I love that. It looks like Chromia has claimed this one as well. I didn't spot the sign earlier, but it looks like Chromia is going to be there. Hopefully we'll see some representation from Gobland and a few of the others nearby as well. But in the meantime, I've got to get my building head on. I've got to figure out where we want some stuff to go around the streets of the ancient capital, and probably where the streets are going to go as well. So I'm going to do a bit of planning around here, and we'll see what we can come up with. And from up here on top of the statue, you can see the beginnings of what we're going to do here. So we've got a little bit more of a boundary around the outside of the catacombs. We've got some awesome rooted dirt. I kind of like the idea that there is something about this area that has continuing to grow, but also some dead bushes here and there as a reminder that this area is on a decline. It's still kind of dying in some areas. Some areas are still springing up and life. And the road patches like continue from around here, and we have this bridge that leads out from this house. And we've got the same road pattern continuing elsewhere. Obviously, now it's by the fact that we don't have any slabs or stairs in the grass or dirt variant, but good. And there's going to be a main thoroughfare over that way, which actually leads down to the stasis down to the edge.
I still don't have
But
stasis
right now,
plus.
I'm kind of stuck. I mean, I'm not stuck, but I kind of know what I'm going to be doing here, but I want to make a couple of other changes to the area first, and I'm thinking about starting the connection to the Great Bridge over there. We're going to have a gatehouse over there, which is going to be the entrance to the ancient council, and for that to be in place really marks the start of me figuring out the layout of this place in greater detail. So that road there is still going to happen. We're still going to have probably a wall around there that leads up into maybe a larger part of the district, maybe even part of the castle that I have planned. And we're going to start the castle today because I'm finally going to get a tower built around the outside of my nether portal tier. And the idea is that this tower has a couple of broken out pieces that sort of show where the nether portal is to anybody who's just casually walking around here on the ground. You'll be able to see the portal up there in the sky through this hole that has been blasted out of the tower, either by siege weaponry potentially, or maybe even by the fact that the nether portal generated there in the first place, and some kind of explosion of heat from the nether has caused the tower to give way and crumble and burn in the process, and some of it is still looking charred and cindered centuries later. Of course, I still need access to the portal that takes me into the main nether cavern, so that's kind of buried underneath the tower in a slightly safer place, and a lot of this tower isn't going to be fully textured because it's going to be connected to a larger construct around the outside. We're probably going to have a castle of sorts forming up around this tower as I design more pieces of it. So this is just going to be one part of it. The part that's facing downwards into the town probably isn't going to have too much built around it, and so I've textured this side, but not any of the other sides, which should make the build process a little bit cleaner. So I'm going to get this built, but something tells me this isn't going to be the most exciting time-lapse. It's just one tower, and you've already seen most of it in the schematic here, so instead I'm going to cut over to some footage that you might have seen if you've been watching Joel and Jimmy's series, but I thought it'd be fun to show you more of my perspective.
Look how fast results most are. It's literally impossible to outrun them.
Joel is now selling Sheriff toys.
Well, I say that, but I just outran one.
So a neutral third party had to be brought in to judge the case, and that turned out to be me.
What do you mean? No, what do you mean before we...
Come on in, sir! Jimmy, right up here. We are right up here. The small big claim score, right in here.
Why is this
Hello.
all in caps? Why...
Hey! Fixers! Sir. Mr. Sheriff, please take your seat over here.
Sorry. Judge just threw up on me.
Everyone will please take your seats. Your drift is now in session. This court is now in session for the case of Solidarity Gaming versus Smallish Beans. Mr. Gaming has brought a suit against Mr. Beans for copyright infringement and unauthorized use of his image and defamation of character. Mr. Gaming alleges that Mr. Beans has created a toy store with the intention of profiting from sales of soft toys made in his image, thereby infringing his copyright as the sheriff and making a mockery of him by association with the aforementioned plush toy line. Mr. Gaming, is this correct?
This is correct. Correct, Judge.
Mr. Beans, you will have the opportunity to answer these allegations in more detail shortly, but please be aware you will face stricter penalties if the court finds you guilty of any charges you wish to present an argument against. With this in mind, how do you plead?
It depends.
That's a lot of
That's
diamonds.
state. Right. It depends on one thing. If I'm copying the sheriff's image, is that him admitting he's a tie? Because I am willing to pay him the fine.
No, Your Honor. No, Your Honor.
That
is not me admitting
I'm not
it.
copying his image, and I plead not guilty. Your Honor, it's possible to create a toy off of a real being, where the sheriff is in fact a real being.
In the absence of a jury of your peers, none of whom responded to a summons, I will deliver this verdict in accordance with my judgment as lawmaster of these lands. Both Mr. Beans and Mr. Gaming's legal representative, Mr. Whip, have decided to send me gifts in the interest of swaying my goodwill towards one or the other. However, since I judged both gifts to be of equivalent value, they balance each other out and do not constitute a conflict of interest or create significant bias towards either party. Additional pork chops will be...
Sir, did you see right here? Look at the shiny rock right behind you. Look at this little...
The court has observed this.
I got some more of those.
The court would like to...
Sheriff, please.
The court would like to remind the defendant and the accusers that this kind of fighting should not exist in a court of law.
Sorry, put your sword and shield away, sir. Sorry, Your Honor.
Mr. Gaming has appointed himself a legal representative to present his case.
Yes.
While Mr. Beans has elected to represent himself. Is this correct?
It's no one would represent me, Your Honor.
There it is.
I thought you had this lawyer turning up, Mr. Beans.
I had a sword in my hand this entire time.
Mr. Beans, if you shoot Mr. Gaming in this court, you will be held in contempt. The court will now hear opening remarks from Mr. Gaming's representative. Mr. Whip, you have the floor.
Thank you.
Objection, hearsay, Your Honor.
Sustained.
The sheriff is a loyal sheriff who has been the Empire's favorite
Objection,
sheriff.
hearsay, Your Honor. He's not loyal, he's an absolute moron.
Mr. Beans, if you object one more time out of turn, I will have to send you outside. Please continue, Mr. Whip.
He has been the favorite sheriff since the start of the season. He's smart, he's determined, and he's a passionate man. And he would do anything for his nearest and dearest friends. He considers his friends and family as his friends as family. And he tries his best to keep them together at all times. His public image is being taken advantage of by the accused in hopes of making a profit off of selling toys that look like our favorite sheriff, who's a well-known figure of the entire Empire. Thank you.
Very good. We'll now hear opening remarks from Mr. Beans.
That is all complete rubbish. I just made a toy because I like sheriffs. It's got nothing to do with Solidarity Gaming and his stupid little hat. And he is also
Objection,
corrupt
Your Honor,
and
objection.
the worst
This
person
is
in the
leading.
world, and I hate him so much. He's a toy. Right.
Mr. Beans, if you could please keep your biases in check. This is the court of law.
What is this?
Mr. Whip, you had an objection.
This was a leading line of statements here, not relevant to the copyright case.
The court observes this. Mr. Beans, if you could step back to your stand, please.
He just got served. Yeah, no.
I told you.
Little witness, high five over here. Another thing I've just remembered is I'm using it under parody law. Parody law means I can make a parody of something and it is legal as long as I didn't make it fun of it. So that's my favourite argument.
Does anybody have one of these plush toys that I might examine for myself? Let's turn away a second. Mr. Gaming, if you could please face this way.
Do you need me to stand next to it? Or?
Please do. I would like to examine the similarity for myself.
It's gonna be okay.
Just stand there. Just stand there. Slide a little to the. Slide a little over here. A little over here. Yeah. Okay. There we go. See. Your Honor, you can see the likeness right there. The hair, the tones are the same. The bandana's the same color. The coat, the shirt, the jacket's in there.
He does indeed seem to resemble the toy.
Judge, I know what you're doing here, and could you refrain from using that? That's all I did. I don't care anymore. I've changed my plea. No, he's a toy. No, that's not.
Want them anymore.
No, I don't know. This is not me admitting that I'm a toy, though. But
The toy resembles the sheriff, is what we're seeing.
Yes,
the
the other
toy
way around.
resembles the sheriff's likeness.
We have also not decided whether settlement was necessary in the proceedings.
The Diamondback mystery.
Mr. Gaming, if you could
Now,
please
those
return the
two
diamonds to
friendly
Mr. Beans. Thank you very much.
he's laughing. He's getting the laughing matter at the moment. I don't like
Your
this.
Honor,
I don't
I
like the
would
way
like
it's
to say
going.
that before these toys came into production, Joel has been observed many times calling my client a toy and trying to say he has no rights in this universe, whereas my client, the sheriff, is a proud and passionate leader of Tumbletown. And before these toys even came to production, was trying to put the foot that Jimmy is a toy before these things even existed.
Mr. Beans, do you have anything to say in your defense?
Yeah, look at me. Oh,
Mr. Beans, can you...
Can I ask for a trial by combat?
Trial by combat is not a service we offer here.
See, he's all against the law, isn't he? Hello, LAW. He's all against it. Can I just say, this sheriff is Henty's lawyer. Henty's a nice little man, but he is corrupt. He is willingly bribing the judge with his lawyer. Absolute disgrace. And also, number one rule: please don't disrespect the sheriff. That is a breach of my freedom and my rights for free speech. And I just want to get that out
Objection.
there.
This is irrelevant to the current
It
copyright.
speaks to the character of Mr. Gaming.
Objection sustained, and Mr. Beans, I believe these aren't exactly matters to be settled by a small, big claim. So,
Yeah, it's to be settled with a trial by combat. Let's go.
I believe trial by combat may not be the thing either. I believe that you may need to take this to a higher court, one which I unfortunately do not have the legal power to represent. However, in the case of Mr. Beans and Mr. Gaming here, Mr. Beans has already demonstrated his willingness to hand over the profits for the sales of the aforementioned toy. So I believe in this case, I rule that Mr. Beans should pay Mr. Gaming
I can't
what is
upgrade
due,
this.
the full profit of sales from the toy store.
There you go.
Can you confirm that me accepting these diamonds doesn't mean I'm accepting that I'm a toy, but the
Accepting-
toys
that's
are
not-
based off of me?
That's not- that's-
Sure.
that's
It's
his
accepting
opinion. You
that
can't
the
accept
toy was made in your likeness.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
is
yeah,
it-
yeah.
I'm not
The toy is
accepting that I'm a
separate
toy.
you, not- Yeah.
It's funny
Yeah,
you should mention
judge,
that,
yeah.
because the next case we're actually judging here is, let me check my notes, the case of, is Solidarity Gaming a toy?
No,
And
let's-
we're going to
let's
be
get out of this
presiding
one.
over this
Come on,
case with
I
Mr.
think-
Beans
yeah,
here
we
as
won.
the witness.
Yep.
Yeah. You know, you can't win that one.
No,
It's
I'll
fine,
leave.
you little
No,
boy.
I'm not a toy. I'm not.
Jimmy, don't aggravate.
What the heck did I just watch?
Thank you, Judge. Feel free to take the Emerald Ore block back there if you would like to. You're more than welcome. Thank you very much.
Ow!
Well, I told you that one would be pushing the time lapse. There wasn't really all that much going on. We got the whole thing built though, and it's looking real nice. And obviously, as the area around it develops, it's going to take a lot more into conflict with just this lone tower outlet. One of my favourite things about it is that whether or not you are up here next to this portal as you come out from the netherite, or if you are down there at the portal of the light, you're effectively forced to come out this way, then the first thing you see is the statue above the catacombs. It really gives you a good introduction to this area, and it's another one of the things that I've been learning from Elden Ring, which is obviously a pretty key inspiration in a lot of the stuff that I'm building here, is limiting the player's perspective and creating sightlines that really introduce them to the landmarks of an area first. This whole area is kind of inspired most heavily by the capital city that you visit in Elden Ring, and that has a couple of really breathtaking moments where you step out of a doorway and you're greeted with a vista across the entire city, and that's kind of the vibe I want to get when people are visiting here for the first time. Not only that, but once they hop down from the portal and turn around, if there's a massive castle around here, they're really going to have something special to look back on. So that's one build out of the way, but I want to get a second one taken care of in this episode, and this one I'm not going to show you right off the bat. I'm not going to show you the schematic of it, you're just going to get to see it take shape in another time. But I decided it's probably time to build the gatehouse here that is going to lead through to Central Road, the entrance to the ancient capital. And it's effectively going to be my tower on the Great Bridge, really, because as we mentioned before, there are 12 towers, there are 12 other empires, so it doesn't necessarily leave room for me, but my stuff is
crossbow. Ow.
sun rises on the Great Bridge, and I try to ignore the fact that one of the other Great Bridge pillars has been built on in the meantime while I was doing the last bits of woodwork up there on the gatehouse. The gatehouse is complete, but the doors here wide open. And I did have an alternative design where I wanted to have a portcullis here with a tree motif on it, kind of once again taking inspiration from Elden Ring, but I had some difficulty getting that to read. I really want to use the design somewhere else, but I'm not going to use it here. Instead, we have these big wooden doors, and I've been trying to avoid building with wood too much elsewhere, because I kind of figure that wood will be one of those things that's decayed over time, it's rotted, or it's
I guess I really am staying with the Hylian hood for a long time.
Repurposed somewhere else, potentially. But I think the doors, this largely probably would have been treated or made out of really sturdy wood so they would stand the test of time. And the doors are just slightly ajar. I want to give the impression that they can swing back and fully open to let some large vehicles through or whatever, but at this point, considering it's just foot access and occasionally horses and that kind of thing, you can ride them on through this gap, no problem. It also does what I was saying earlier and kind of limits our perspective to just this 3-block wide aperture. So I'm hoping once I've cleared out a little bit more of the terrain here, it's not just going to open up to a cliff face of terrain. We are going to be able to use that to our advantage and maybe have something to the left and the right that's going to really impress people as they walk through. Maybe a couple more statues or something like that. But either way, this now marks the entrance to the Empire, to my ancient capital. And I do like the fact that the doors are open. I do have some fastenings on the back, as though you'd be able to lay massive logs over the back to like brace the door against some kind of oncoming invasion. But maybe when the last people were fleeing the ancient capital, or when there was nobody left there, they decided there was really nothing left to defend, and they left the doors open just in case anybody in future wanted to come and visit the ancient capital. Well, that's part of the story, I guess. I've said it in a video now, so it's lore. It happens, and I think that's also where we're going to wrap up this video. Hopefully you really enjoyed this video, because there's a lot going on here. A couple of big time lapses, a couple of court cases, and I hope you folks really enjoyed the ride. Well, that's going to be it from me. Thank you so much for watching this episode of Empires. My name has been Pixorus. Don't forget to leave a like on this video if you enjoyed it. Subscribe if you want to see more, and I'll see you folks soon. Take care. Bye for now.
Kidding me? I've never heard an NPC do a stream like that before.
we're starting off with a time lapse today. Welcome back, folks. Welcome back to Empires. Welcome back to the ancient capital, which now has a slightly more complete building. I've been doing some thinking about what I want to be ruined around here and what I want to be a little bit more complete. And honestly, I want to have a big building here because I want this to be the museum for the ancient capital. And maybe this can have been a stately home beforehand. Maybe it can have been like a mansion of some kind. But maybe because it's stood the test of time and is largely complete here, it will take a bit of wear and tear on the materials, and I might maybe do some ruination here and there. But I think what we've got here is a really solid foundation for a museum. We could put a basement in. We have a little bit of attic space up here. Let me see if I can get up here with the scaffolding. I've been putting the ceiling in, which you see doesn't appear in the time-lapse because I didn't really decide on an interior for this place up until now. And hello, alright, just gonna bang my head on the ceiling. Sorry about that. But no, up here we have a bit of an attic space. Maybe we can use this for storage or something like that. We can put some of the more obscure relics up here until we've determined what exactly they are and what they're for. But I like having a nice open floor plan down here. And this is probably going to be a museum that's open to the public. Maybe people can make donations or something like that, but I'm not going to charge them for entry necessarily. And I want to have a couple of fairly large exhibits around here, maybe a little bit of art up on the walls, and maybe a couple of partitions here and there, because otherwise it does just feel like one big empty room. But I like the idea of having a place where we can bring and preserve artifacts from the server, and not just individual items, maybe larger things as well. And I have one in particular in mind that I want to move to the museum today, and if you've been paying attention to the series, I think you know what's coming. Because over here in Tumbletown, a while back, the sheriff discovered something very, very important, and something that I'd honestly never seen before. I had never previously seen a fossil with diamond ore in it, and so we're going to try and find that fossil site today. I'm pretty sure... Oh... That hasn't been dealt with yet. Okay, better stay away from that. Hopefully I can make it on down here, but I'm pretty sure the fossil is down... in one of these caves somewhere, and I can follow the torches and hopefully we'll end up in the right sort of place. I think maybe it was down one of these caves. Is that it over there? Nope, that's an abandoned mine shaft. It was at deep slate level, that much I remember. I just need to figure out which way we went in order to find it. Maybe down here, yes, okay. That's it, perfect, perfect. So, the fossil, and I think, judging by the size of this, the scale of this, this might actually be the right sort of size to go in one side of the museum. Either that or we can hang it from the ceiling. But I think this thing needs a few more visitors. I think we haven't really figured out what to do with it down here, and in Tumbletown, or this is in the desert, basically adjacent to Tumbletown, I don't know if it's going to get that many eyeballs on it just being down here in its original situation. And so, as the server's resident archaeologist and paleontologist now with the fossil here, I feel like I should probably move this to somewhere that we're going to get a few more eyeballs on it. We're going to take it to the museum. Now, before we do that, of course, we do need to make sure that we rebuild this exactly as it is here, which may or may not be exactly how Jimmy found it. So we're going to use our holographic imaging tool, Limatica, and we're going to take all of the coordinates here. I think we need to go that way. Yes, perfect. Okay, and this should give us a pretty accurate image of the fossil here. We'll take a screenshot of the signs to make sure that we get the text correct on those as well, and we should be able to tear this entire thing down, put it back in our preservation kit, and rebuild it over at the museum. Well, that looks a little strange now, doesn't it? You can kind of see the marks where I've carved out the fossil very, very carefully. Got a silk touch pickaxe the entire time, so we've got all the diamond ore from this as well, and why did I draw in the first place, so I don't honestly get all that money. But I think it's going to be fantastic to have a fossil in pride of place at our museum. We'll definitely put it on one side of that room if we can, or maybe, like I said, dangle it from the ceiling if we can manage it. But for now, I've only got 10 fireworks left and I've got to make my way out of here, so wish me luck. I think I remember seeing daylight over this direction though, so yeah, we can make our way out here through the mesa of Tumbletown, and pretty wasn't too far away after. Well, I'm going to leave Jimmy to the because apparently there's one around here, and I'm going to make my way back over to the museum. And back at the museum, I have made a pretty interesting discovery, because now I have the ability, if I place in a couple of these, okay, we can actually modify the schematic of the fossil, which is good, because once building this entire thing up, deep slate here, a lot of this deep slate section, because otherwise, once we get to the bones, we have to cram a lot of deep slate around the blocks from the schematic, allowing me to better visualize where the bones go and figure out that we can just about, I can't believe it's actually this big, but we can just about fit this entire thing in here in a glass case. I'm thinking we might put a slightly more elegant glass case around the outside. We might do something with glass panes instead of full blocks, and maybe leave the top open since we'll have the ceiling more or less directly above it, make it feel a bit more like it's in a tank than in a complete case.
Wow.
But yeah, I like this. I think we're gonna go with it. And there it is, reproduced in its entirety, including the plaque with the correct date. I've messed up the 022, no 2000. Actually, but the blocks are all there. I included a little bit of the deep slate that's going to be used, of course, to fasten the bones together. Took pains to make sure it was in the natural orientation for the deep slate, but I do like the fact that we've been able to clear out a lot of the rock from around it and just let the fossil itself show. And the zombies are lining up to get into the museum. Honestly, I've had so many pillager patrols spawning around here as though they're queuing up to be my first customers or something. But there we go, 2022, the correct date for this fossil discovery, and hopefully Jimmy will be proud of me for preserving this in a more permanent place where somebody can come and take a look at it if they want to. I'm going to do something with the floor here, and I'm not entirely certain what's going to go on the opposite side of the room. So maybe some paintings and stuff can go around here, maybe a couple of artifacts, but if you folks in the comments have any ideas what I should put in here, anything else that I should go and collect from elsewhere on the server, then let me know. I'm not about to steal Joel's entire base or anything, so yeah, that's definitely not going to happen. The calcite thing is over and done with. That mountain is still covered in glass, but I think I'm going to leave it there for the time being, and I need to do something about the foundation here to make that feel a bit more natural, but aside from that, I think we're doing pretty well. So I've been doing a little bit more thinking about what we can put in the museum, and for now I think I've come up with a couple of good exhibits, which may just end up being temporary, but aside from the fossil over here, which is starting to annoy me the more I look at it, to be honest, because there's some stuff that isn't centered, there's some stuff that is centered on the build, but isn't centered on the rest of the room, and this little plaque in the middle is slightly off, and it's, yeah, I don't know, I feel like we might have to come up with some other solution for this in the fullness of time. But for now, over here, I have a couple of really neat little exhibits. I've got some stuff that I brought back from an ancient city a while ago, which I still haven't finished raiding, so I would really love to go and raid that and see what else we can dig up from there. But we have an echo shard, we have a fragment of a music disc, you know, the kind of stuff
Rivali's
that you
Gale
expect to
is
see
now
in a
ready.
museum, and frankly the kind of stuff that I'm not in a rush to use, because while I would love to have enough echo shards to put together a recovery compass, I don't think between us on the server we have all that many of them, and I expect a recovery compass might be something for somebody who wants to keep for themselves, so maybe one of those can go there. I'm leaving this item frame blank for now, and maybe something like that can go in there, maybe something different can go in there, maybe you guys have some good ideas for that. Of course, we have some rare blocks over here, some ancient debris and some blackstone. I figured, well, gilded blackstone, sorry. I think I figured those would be good things to put over here in the box, and I might change up the glass, but I ended up going with full glass blocks over here eventually because the glass paint that I'm using here will stick to the sides of blocks. They'll connect to the sides of full blocks, and I didn't really want that to ruin the look of all of this. So it really does look like they're inside a glass case with completely thin walls next to the connected texture, and maybe I'll do something to make the case look a little bit more interesting. But of course over here, as you've probably already noted, we have two artifacts from the trial of Soledad Gaming versus Smallish Beans. We have the player head in question, the Sheriff toy, which I think it was worth preserving in here just in case the rest of the stock gets impounded or something, and we have the Emerald Ore mini block, the player head Emerald Ore that I was given as part of my fee as being the judge for that trial. So there's one more thing I wanted to add over here, which is of course a painting, and I figured we could put this painting up in here. This is a very special painting on loan from the Mythical Sausage Collection. We have St. Pearl, a Flower of Laurelin original. Very, very excited to have this hanging up in the museum. And so now people can come in and see this fabulous work of art, and of course I'll leave a link in the description to the original because it's pretty worth looking at, although it's going to make the most sense if you've seen Mythical Sausage's recent videos. But we do have a big gap over here, so I think that we can probably leave room for another larger exhibit. So if you can think of anything that, to not get too Indiana Jones on you, belongs in a museum, then once again, please do let me know. I also wanted to pop over to the Great Bridge real fast because Scott Spadia put this up, and finally the video came out, so I feel comfortable showing it on camera. Scott has put a Chromia statue and a couple of ambassadors here. We have a couple of llamas. They don't have names yet, but they are the official ambassadors of Chromia to the rest of the empires, and they're here stationed on the Great Bridge in case anybody has any questions about the most colourful empire on the server. So there it is. Very excited to have those on here, and a great contribution, I think. I love seeing statues. He's modified the tower a little bit to open it out, which people are welcome to do, even though a couple of them have, of course, left the original constructs in place. I think it's nice to fiddle with the structure of the tower a little bit, open this out, and make sure people feel like they are welcome at the embassy. But over here on the Great Bridge, I've been doing a little bit of digging. I've been doing a little bit of landscaping over here. I really want to open out the space behind the Great Bridge doors, behind the gatehouse here, so that people can feel like there is an entrance to my empire, and of course I've been using it to age all of the copper that I used in the museum route. But once again, I love the fact that as you're approaching the doors like this, you can see very little of the landscape to either side, and that's eventually going to be replaced with buildings, but as you step on through here, more of that detail becomes apparent, and we'll be able to see some buildings, maybe some statues on either side as well, masked by the doors of the gatehouse, but leading out here into the main road that's going to lead down into the ancient capital. So I'm going to collect up all of this copper as I go, and I can show you what happens to the road once it reaches the ancient capital, because it's not just going to be a straight road right into the heart of my empire, for a couple of reasons. The first of which is that right now the trajectory of this road goes basically straight through this water source and my little hole in the wall over there where I've been keeping storage before we had the catacomb. The second reason being that I wanted this road to kind of climb up, because I'm once again obscuring the sightlines of stuff like the back of the statue over here, and I figure right here we can have almost like a balcony of sorts, some kind of area where you can step off the main road and look down into the capital itself and see all of the buildings laid out around it. So once again, I really want to work on the experience of exploring this space and make it feel like you can see different stuff from different points. You can get a view of the statue from over here, a couple of buildings around here maybe, but I think we can make this into a scenic stop-off point on the main road into the capital. And then the road's going to continue this way, so I have a lot more landscaping to do because there's a massive ravine right here full of creatures, but I think we can probably deviate the road over that way, and then it will join up with the roads that I've already started digging out elsewhere around the capital. Of course, there's one that goes alongside the museum, and this is much lower down here than the elevation of the Great Bridge, so we need the road to kind of come up to that ridge of terrain over there, and then come down the landscape over here, and then wrap back around into this main area, where now, alongside the side of the museum, you can kind of get a feel for some of the landmarks of the area. You can see the gatehouse over there, you can see the statue above the catacombs, the museum is right here, the tower is right here. Once again, these sightlines
Rivali's Gale is
playing
now
around
ready.
with, and in some cases preserving. But I've got a lot of thinking to do, and this was a massive build, so I think we're probably going to leave things here for today. Folks, thank you so much for watching this episode of Empires. My name has been Pixelriffs. Don't forget to leave a like on this video if you enjoyed it, subscribe if you want to see more, and I'll see you folks soon. Take care. Bye for now.
I've almost caught up.
So what we have here is supposed to be a capital city, and I've got some plans for making it feel that way. Starting with a road network, and we've already started working on roads and paths around the ancient capital, but I think this place needs to feel a little bit more grand, and I wanted to connect the Great Bridge to the pathways and roads of the capital in a way that felt structural. And so what I've done is I've carved out this giant valley over here, and today we're going to be working on this valley in particular, but immediately to the left, as you walk up this road, the right is we're facing this way, we cross this canyon over here. We have this kind of ravine cut into the landscape, a few creepers milling around down there, and I have plans maybe for that as well, but this had to be bridged by, you know, a single bridge, a single pillar. It's really all we needed, but I want to decorate that a little bit more and make that feel a little bit more, I don't know, structural, maybe a little more detailed anyway. But once you reach this point here, there is a road that brings you down into the valley in which the capital is built. It's kind of a valley, at least. The hills aren't exactly particularly steep, but it makes a fair amount of sense. And I thought, once we put this road in, it would be a good way of splitting up different districts within the capital itself. So here we have the road that kind of curves around to the right and is going to connect up with the more built-up area of the capital over there. But over here on the left, we have a wheat field beginning to take shape, and maybe some more farms can take shape around here for either animals or crops or a mixture of the two. There is yet another ravine over there that I will probably have to bridge, and we can start to bring a little bit of structure to this. Hello? Oh, hello. I'm not sure if this has been shown in anyone else's video, so I might have to ignore that for the time being. But in any case, we have here a wheat field starting to grow up, and I like the idea of farming having been really important to this culture at some point or another, and maybe the fields have started to become completely overgrown at this point, so we can work on that because nobody's around to tend the farms anymore. But I do like the idea of farming having been a big part of the culture over here, and there being a road that separates them by having this big raised walkway, but then of course a tunnel through it that reaches through to the other side. This is currently hollow. I don't have anything really planned out for it quite yet, but I like the idea of them still feeling connected, and I want to add more structural elements like this to the area. A few more bridges, a few more raised roads like this, and I'm working on the details. It's still a little bit rough. Right now, but I want to get a couple of designs figured out in a creative test world before we bring them over to the server and make them happen. But there are areas where
Rivali's
bridges and
Gale is now
aqueducts
ready.
wave and suggest themselves. There are a few other bits and pieces that I want to throw in here, and this avenue is the one that I really want to get started with. This road that we've cut through the hill on this side from the Great Bridge Gatehouse over to this area, where players can stand and take in a view of the ancient capital from up here behind the statue above the catacombs, and you can see a little bit more of the stuff I've built. Once again, we're restricting sightlines so that you can see bits and pieces, and when you walk out here it becomes a reveal, kind of like a reveal in that opening section where the statue pops up and then you see the road. This avenue is something I've been thinking about quite a lot, and I want to line it on either side with either buildings or statues or pedestals of like long forgotten monuments or something like that. I kind of want there to be a bit more structure to this place, so that, as I said before, when you walk in here from the road, where you can't really see what's happening inside as you walk through the gate, and then when you step through, suddenly there is stuff on either side of you and it just pops out. I'm going to try my best to make that stuff that is concealed behind the gatehouse towers as well, so you can't really see it from the outside if you are flying towards the Great Bridge. And eventually, when we hop up here, there is going to be a wall around the outside of this, because what is the point of having a gatehouse like this if there is no wall attached to it? So it's going to feel like the capital was a little bit cut off. At one point, we could do all sorts of stuff with a wall in terms of ruining it, making it feel run down, or maybe it's been assaulted at some point by siege weapons and there are bits broken out of it. As always, what it comes down to is instilling this place with a sense of history. And so I'm going to spend a bit of time remodeling these cliffside walls into something
that feels like it represents that extreme element. And as this road curves away into the rest of the capital, we're going to find stuff to connect it up to and build structures around the outside that are really going to help this thing feel at home. So with all that work done, the avenue, as I've been thinking of it, is finally coming together, and I haven't quite figured out what each of these large cuboid structures is going to be. And I think some of them might be pedestals, some of them might be buildings. I think a lot of them are also going to be overgrown, because the notion here is that it's been around for a while, maybe some nature has started to reclaim some of it. But after all of the geometry of this and getting each of these to like pretty much exactly the same height on either side, which might change, but I kind of like the visual of it. I got to the point where the road over here on the left-hand side felt a little bit too haphazard. It felt a little bit too random. And so I decided to replot it, and at that point, an epiphany occurred to me. Because of course the road as it is down here is kind of winding, it follows the landscape a little bit, but I was just building it freehand. I was kind of organically shaping it, and it didn't look all that good. But what if we wanted to replot it with a more mathematical curve that made a bit more sense? Building it as basically a semicircle was not going to work though, because I didn't want it to have the same dimensions. I wanted the curve to tighten as it got around into that part there. Otherwise the curve would go over that ravine, and I have other plans for some of the stuff in this area. So then, if you look down from the air, you will see what I ended up doing. And this has been an epiphany for the way I think about this area in general, because what we've done with the curve that is here now is follow the golden ratio. The first half of the curve is one size, and then the second half of the curve is half the size. And then the next half of the curve could be half the size again, and again, and again, and we end up with a spiral that tightens inwards. And we're probably not going to take it that far, because I honestly like the road just straightening out at that point and leading down into the city, but the idea is
forgot the
follow
luminous
the
towers.
golden ratio, and this works for so much
This is only a
about
luminous towers an
empire. The way
expert.
I foresee this empire having happened is that at a certain point, this was considered the golden age of this area, this whole land that we are surrounded by, with people gathering and bringing the best of science and technology and literature and warfare, everything that you need to make a great civilization in this kind of time period that we're working with. Obviously things here are not exactly super modern, a little bit more, I don't know, medieval, fantasy, classical, whatever you want to think of it as, really. But at the time, this place represented civilization at its height, and the golden ratio is one of those things that shows up in a lot of art as an example of why art is really pleasing to the eye. You see a lot of studies online of how Renaissance painters ended up using the golden ratio in composition for their work. It's a really important mathematical principle, and the more I think about it, the more we can apply some of this to some of the stuff I'm building in this area. And so from this point forward, the golden ratio is going to be one of those things that pops up more and more. But this is the beginning, and yes, I recognise that in doing this, I have ratioed myself. In fact, the funniest thing is, this, when you look at it from above, kind of forms an L, so we literally have L plus ratio going on in this empire, and everybody who is, you know, following Zuma Twitter right now is just probably laughing their heads off. But anyway, we have a lot of new concepts that I'm introducing here, all thanks to wanting to plot out this curve in a way that made sense for the area. And so we're going to expand the road based on this now, and it's going to line up with this part of the road a little bit more evenly. I kind of wanted to expand my vision for what was happening over here, probably broaden this road out a little bit, and just make sure that it followed the mathematical curve that we're working with here. You can still keep the same concept that this road has, where there's farmland on one side of it and buildings on the other, and probably a tunnel between them, but I think the road is going to end up a bit wider. This is, what I've plotted here is basically going to be the middle, because obviously it starts kind of in the middle of the road that I cut through the valley over here, and whilst this road, it kind of connected on a diagonal before, now that this is a plotted out curve, I wanted to connect a little bit more centrally here, and we'll expand it out to either side, which is going to take a bit of careful calculation, but we should manage to do that. And then as the curve rounds this corner, it actually touches the inside of this part of the curve that I was freehanding. So we're going to have to take down a lot of this and do a lot of correction, but most of this is hollow. It's not like I built the entire thing out of solid stone. If I dig on down through here, you'll find that, yeah, pretty much all of these are hollow and lit up so that mobs don't spawn. In fact, a few of them probably not that well lit up. And if you want another peek behind the scenes at the way I've been thinking about this place, there is a song by an artist called Woodkid, who you probably know from doing the music for a couple of Assassin's Creed game trailers back in the day. But one of those songs, which I heard completely independently of the trailers, is called The Golden Age. And the way the song is kind of phrased, the way the lyrics are written, is much more about a personal story of some people who were children growing up together, recognizing that they're becoming adults and the loss of innocence. But there's this repeated line in the chorus, or the kind of refrain of the song, that just says, "But the golden age is over." And I've been imagining that song, I've been listening to that song in my head, basically, ever since I came upon the idea of the statue and really started to work on the identity of this place. And so, if you wanna imagine what's playing in my head anytime I design stuff like this, go look up that Woodkid song. I'll link it in the description even. I think it's a really, really cool song. But now I need to go away and actually expand this curve into something that I can build here, which is going to mean tearing down all of this stuff, probably moving the beacon so I can tear it all down a little quicker, and then putting it all back up again, adhering to this curve, which is going to take me a while, and I don't know if it's going to make that good of a time lapse, so I'm probably just going to cut away, and when I come back, this is going to look a little bit more precise.
6 of their lights. 6.
Travel kung walang energy.
More precise.
So it's been a minute since I've made a channel update video.
And here on the other side, what a difference that has made. I did do a couple of recalculations because it turns out I was a little off on my thinking about what the golden ratio was. We have a 1 to 1.6 translation, basically. So this shorter curve is actually slightly larger than I initially plotted it, but overall, this is... phenomenal. Something about the way I freehanded it before really didn't feel like it had been designed by the great architects of the world. It felt a little bit too thrown together, and so this now feels much more beautiful as a result. I really love it. And the stair pattern around the outside even feels better as a result, because it feels like it's a little bit more geometric and measured out instead of just being thrown in there. And I love the way this feels to walk down, although right now it needs a bit more texture and it also needs some lighting underneath here. It's kind of a mob farm right now, actually. There are still a few torches from our initial run through here. I could almost turn this into a dungeon or something if I wanted to, but I don't think I will. This central wall is actually the central line of the road, the first curve that I calculated, the first golden ratio curve with the edits that I made, and it can technically be broken through, like I could break through there. Obviously there's some things on the other side. It turns out a fair amount of creepers down here, but we come out into the sunlight over here, which is where the road is going to straighten out and slope downwards and then connect up to a system of roads that's going to take you around the capital. So right now, it's kind of facing into the side of the museum building over there, but the road can split off in different directions from here.